Oh yeah, I had many. I had many in my time. So I did everything, and I'm very happy that I left that behind. I'm very happy that it's all in the past somewhere. But I'm very sad that it was all in the days before the internet exploded. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
because when you do things now, it's all recorded and everyone has the records of stuff and everyone can see everything. I don't know, maybe I played in like 10 different bands and did a lot of different things, and there's almost nothing that I have from all the music that I did. So I don't know, like 10 different bands, maybe 20 different albums, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where it all is now, to be honest. There's little bits and pieces you can find on the internet in different places, but you have to really 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 look hard um,
Mm-hmm.
to find it. So
Mm-hmm.
I would be nice to have a like a record of it all. So just for the sake of having a record of it all, but I don't really have that. So yeah, like I said, days before the internet, days before people did marketing on Facebook, you had to walk around town. First, you had to you had basically had to kind of hand make your own posters and go around town and yeah, and going around town at 2 o'clock in the morning, sticking posters on walls and on lamp posts and anywhere where you could put the poster, right? Just to get advertisement, just to let people know that they're trying not to get caught by the police, right? It was on the line between legal and illegal. You could
I think
post
there will
somewhere, but
be,
not in all.
yeah, not everywhere, like
Yeah,
bus stops. But they are the
yeah.
cool spots where you really want to advertise yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Or you know what people would do? Like rival groups would take your posters and take them
Mm-hmm.
from legal places and put them in illegal places so that your group would get into trouble. Seriously, that's what people would do, right? So we would put our posters like on some semi-official place, and somebody would take them and put them on an official building so that we would get into trouble with the authorities. So it's crazy, but that's the thinking of some people. It's like they don't think like, oh, this is good for the local community that things are happening. They think, how can I destroy everything for everybody else? So it's really crazy. Um, so yeah, that and lots of other little bits of misinformation. Well, you see, I got emails from like local governments offices saying that we are prosecuting you for putting your posters on local buildings, and I had to write emails back to them saying, I agree with you that posters should not be on these buildings. I would like to know who put the posters there so that these people can be prosecuted. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so a lot of people live with misinformation, right? A lot of people
Mm-hmm.
don't have the right information, and because they don't have the right information, they make mistakes. And that's one of the keys. People don't naturally do things wrong, but if you give people the wrong information, you put the wrong instructions into a computer, and the computer will not work properly. Yeah, it will fail, it will malfunction, and it's the same with people. A lot of people take a little bit of information, but they don't understand the bigger picture at all. People are extremely ignorant, and I mean extremely ignorant of most things. They have no idea, right? Um, if you take the concept, take this little concept that everyone can understand. Nobody knows what you are thinking, right? Nobody knows what you're thinking, and nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how the world functions, right? Nobody really knows.
Mm-hmm. We
No,
were talking about this today in a car. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
nobody.
can get close, but never see the world the way how you see it. You never can think the way
Yeah.
how you think.
Yeah. It's well, the thing is, you can't even get close, to be honest. You can't. You
All
can't.
right.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You get a little. There's a little bit of light here and there where the paths cross, right? Where two people have the same thought at the same time, right? Where there's a little bit of that, but you can't even get close because the moment you've got it, it's gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just passes so quickly. The moment you've got it, the moment you experience it, the moment you feel it, it's just gone because your mind automatically moves on to other things, and that's good. It's good because it keeps us thinking and keeps the brain alive and keeps us processing and keeps us moving forward. But this is what I get from my interviews with people. I go into every interview thinking that I know nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And my ego is thinking that I at least know something. But really my ego is wrong because I almost know less than nothing, right? That you have to go into it going I know less than nothing because prejudice will cause you to make more mistakes than anything else. So um, that's the way that I approach things, and it was clear from doing things in music. Like I did stuff in music in London, and I didn't get very far, and it was fun, and I thought, okay, that's it. It's nice to play with it a little bit, but it'll never be anything serious. And then, of course, the moment you decide that it will never be anything serious is the moment that everything tries to be serious. So I suddenly started meeting lots of people who say, do this and do that, and come and join my band and play here and
Mm-hmm.
and
So what's
do
your instrument? What do you play?
well, right now, you see, I don't play anything, right? Because I gave up, right? Because you know what musicians are like? They're collectors, right? They collect music albums, and then they collect guitars, and then they collect amplifiers, and they collect, it just becomes like for
Yeah, because there is a new speaker, there is a new amplifier, yeah,
yeah.
and that works better and makes
Mm,
nicer sound and things like that. Yes, our neighbor, he has like 7 or 9 guitars, bass guitars.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so they build this sort of collection of things, and it's kind of natural in life that we do this. And but what I did was I ended up with this massive collection of just stock guitars and amplifiers and mixes and equipment, and I took it all to this club for young people, and I said, here it is, take it all. Yeah,
Wow.
and it was just thousands of pounds worth of equipment, and I and what here's what frustrates and annoys me. What frustrates and annoys me is when people have something, but that thing is not used. Like you have like some people have 2 cars, right? And like one car is just always in the garage, and it's not even used,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so there's a lot of people have a lot of stuff that they never use, and I didn't want the things to sit around and not be used. I wanted everything to be used. That's why I invested in it in the first place. And so I just took it all and I gave it all away, um, and I was happy, and I never checked back on it. I never checked back to see what was happening with it because I didn't really care. I was just like, right, just like knowledge, pass it
Yeah.
on to other people. So it's one of those, it's just one of those nice things to do where you take things that you know that you're not going to use anymore. And the reason for this was that my son was born, and my son was born, and I had to make a decision about time
Mm-hmm.
because you can't do everything. You can't read every book. You can't watch every film. You can't speak to every person. Yeah, It's just impossible. So I had to make a decision about time, about what was more important to me. And I decided that spending time with my son was more important to me than doing music. And so I decided that the only way to make sure that I did this properly was to have no music equipment around. So, and it took me 6 months to organize doing this. But eventually I took everything and put it all to this one place and said, that's okay, that's yours now. So do with it what you want. Um, and
Which place was it? Just like
yeah, it was
you were traveling back.
Club 77 was the place.
Mm-hmm,
Because I
mm-hmm.
knew the owner there, so I just said, here's everything. I took the guitars, and I think I kept two guitars until about I kept two guitars for a couple of years, and then I gave them to a friend.
Mm.
I called a friend. I said, I have two guitars. I don't want them anymore. Because it's not I don't want them. I just don't use them, and that's crazy to have something and not use it. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
so I just gave them to my friend because I knew that he would take care of them. Yeah. Because he liked music and he respected it, and that was cool. So giving giving things away is a great feeling, right? Just just taking stuff that you have and giving it to people is it's just this really kind of nice thing to do, especially if other people can use those things. It's all very cool. So I got involved in music and I did the whole thing. I did like I set up production for people so that for young bands. I set it up for them so that they could get concerts and they could get promotion and they could get websites and photo shoots and everything for free. So they could get all the production process for free to help them with their music. And it's amazing how many people hated that.
Why?
Um,
And who would?
who would hate that? People
People who
who
sell musical equipment? So
uh,
they are not making.
well, yeah,
Who?
that was one group of people. Well, but it's not about the musical equipment. It's about people want to. Oh my, wow! Look at that sky. There's the most amazing red pink sky outside. Anyway, um, because the sun,
Yeah, looking.
the sun is coming up over the hills, and it's the most it's red, pink, and beautiful. Anyway, um, so yeah, it's not people. It's not about the music and the equipment and the money. It's about the control.
Mm-hmm.
It's about control. Most human relationships are at some level about control. And it's not always a bad thing. You want parents to have some level of control over what their children are doing so they guide them in the right direction. Yeah. You if you're a boss, you want some level of control over what your organization is doing. It's not always a bad thing. However, it is often a bad thing because people start telling other people what to do and how to think and where to go and it's the endless list of you should read this, you shouldn't read that, you should talk to this person, you shouldn't talk to that person, and it's just an extension of fear is what it
Mm-hmm.
is because why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why does it matter who you talk to and where you go? It does matter to you that you make the right choices for yourself, but the world was never improved by other people coming into somebody's life and making all the decisions for them.
Welcome.
It was never improved because you take away responsibility at that point in time. And the moment you start to take away responsibility, then everything kind of falls apart because you don't grow at all at that point in time. And so yeah, uh, people hated what I was doing because they felt powerless to stop me. And so And so the way that they would respond to that is that they would just verbally attack for no real logical reason, which shows you that most people are screwed up in the head anyway, because um, they just they just say whatever is in their head, which has got nothing to do with the facts. Right. I mean, I had people I had people viciously attack me. I had people slander me. I had people write on my websites the most awful lies and nonsense. I had people attack my business. I had people, let's see, I don't even know where to start. You know, people attacked my school because it was related to the music work that I did, and they said that I don't even know how to even express this. You know when someone says something that's not true, it's so completely crazy that you don't know where to start with it. I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Like it's like somebody, it's one thing that is not true is equal to everything that is not true. So if somebody says, "Oh, you're," let me give you an example. Let me think of an example. Okay, so about 3 years ago, I was walking through this 3, 4. It's more than that. It's 5. Time flies. 5, 6 years ago, I was walking through this park in Banska Bystrica in Slovakia, and I met someone that I used to work with, say 10, 15 years ago. And they said, "Oh wow, what are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, I'm walking through the park with my family, you know." And they're like, "No, what are you doing in Slovakia?" I'm like, "I live here." "Oh, you still live here?" I'm like, "Well, I have a business here. I run a school here. Got my own academy of education." And they're like, "Oh, somebody told me that you left the country years ago." And this person was a teacher of the English language in Banska Bystrica, and they didn't, and I worked with them, and they didn't know that I was the director of my own school in Banska Bystrica. And
Yeah, but
they believed
okay.
that I
Yeah.
didn't live there because their friend had told them that I
You
left
already left.
I left the country, and they said it was because of some problem with the police or something, right? That I left the country, and I was like, at that point, I was the director of a school in the center of town,
Mhm.
and in their mind, I was not in the country because I had a problem with the police. But every day I was going to work as the director of a school.
Mhm.
People's heads are
Mm.
fucked up, right? People's heads are fucked up. It's and I don't mean that, and I don't mean that as in a sense to be negative to people. I just mean the information that they have is so completely wrong. Um,
Yeah.
and and they're
Just thinking, should a person checked on or not, or like how much you trust other
look.
people, your friends.
I had directors of other schools phone up my clients, and you would not believe the level of insanity that I had to deal with. Right?
I was born in there, and that's why I can't live in Slovakia because all this nonsense. My
Hmm.
New Year's resolution is not to swear, and I'm just about to
But
hold it all.
like if you get a like the
And you know what's worse when it comes from your family, not direct family, but
Mhm.
sometimes even,
Yeah.
and like extended, like uncles, they are married. And I'm like, what do you know? Why are you saying this? Stop. And exactly, what are you? What approach to take to
Mm.
offend or just to stand and just process it? Like, where is it all coming from, and who has that intention to spread this nonsense?
People,
Oh,
yeah, it's the echo chamber effect. Yeah, where you surround yourself with people who reflect your own words and thoughts back to you, and most of that is fear. And so no one ever checks anything because they're scared of everything. Because the reason why someone thinks that somebody is every negative thought is a reflection of all the negativity within the self,
Mm-hmm.
right? So and it goes back to the thing I said earlier, that no one is ever really wrong. No one is wrong
Mm-hmm.
ever, because you base your facts on your experience. That's it, right? If you so it happens in life that people live in the same place and space, but their experiences and thought processes are so individualistic that it's like everyone is speaking a different language. And because of that, communication gets so messed up so quickly between people, and they end up living in an echo chamber where they're not having real conversations. They're just looking for people to tell them what they already know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it gets to the point where it's all about elements of control, as if people want to. There's this the power struggle, the domination. Those who can't dominate themselves are forced to replace that self-domination with the domination of others.
Domination of others. Mm-hmm.
Those who can't dominate themselves are forced to those with no peace in themselves create no peace for others, right? And this applies to everyone. By the way, I have to say this right now,
Mm-hmm.
that outside is the single most beautiful sunrise I have ever seen in my life. Right now, if you imagine, everything is pink. The sky is pink, the water is pink, the beach is pink. It is the most amazing sunrise I have ever seen in my entire life. I wish there was some way that I could kind of share it with you,
Turn
but
it around. Mm-hmm.
but uh, can't really. It's quite it is stunning. It is. I'm just like two windows here, and I'm like, there's just like pink. Everything is pink. And
Is it like the
pink.
L shaped windows? Windows in the shape of L, or it's on one wall?
There's windows on one wall here, and there's a window over there, and so I can see like the beach, and the water is all reflected pink from it's one of those one in a million sunrises. Maybe once a year you might get something close to this. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm just going, oh my goodness! I've never in my life seen anything like this. It is absolutely stunning.
2nd of January.
And yes, yesterday was beautiful, amazingly beautiful. Not as beautiful as today. You couldn't, if you wanted to imagine the most perfect sunrise ever, it would not be half as nice as this. Right? It's quite incredible. I can't even describe it. It's just like somebody took pink brushes and painted the world all pink. It's wild. Anyway, so
I'm picturing it.
So this just want to give you some background of what things are like here, right? So I said those who have no peace within themselves create no peace for others, right? And yeah, it's played out by all people at all levels. Doesn't matter whether you're homeless, living under a bridge, or whether you're rich, living in the castle at the top of the mountain. It all plays out in exactly the same way. You see it with leaders. Okay. Most people.
Yeah.
Yep. Look, most Look, the two classic mistakes that you'll see in leadership. One is that a lot of leaders who seek power often had problems. Leaders who seek power, not leaders who have power, leaders who seek power,
Mhm.
often had problems with their fathers, with their father not being around, and that vacuum of not having a powerful figure leads them to seek power because you seek what you don't have, right?
Mhm.
You seek what you don't have, and then you seek to control in others that which you cannot control within yourself. So, yeah, it's like I said, it plays. Look, Hitler didn't know who his father was,
Mhm.
and then and that one single fact leads to World War where almost everybody dies. Okay.
Almost.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And then you look at Barack Obama didn't know who his father was, right? A very similar megalomaniac type of character, who insisted on being a father to everybody because he had no father, right? Promotion of socialism. Okay,
Mhm.
I will provide everything you need for you, right? I will provide everything you need. I will give you your job. I will give you your social security. I will give you your health care. I will give you your home. I will give you, I'll make sure you have everything. It's just like it's daddy issues is what it is. Or Angela Merkel in Germany, right? Single woman with no children, right? She wants to be everybody's mother,
Mhm.
but she has no real experience of mothership, so that leads to complex psychological problems within themselves because your psychology changes when you have kids. You become a different person. It's just inevitable that because if you don't, you're not getting to the next level, right? Right?